When you look at the Abrahamic religions that practice preaching, you will think it is a fantastic idea being a preaching religion, such as in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But uh, obsession with preaching has turned some people into eccentric preachers. Let us look at some instances. Not too long ago, about 3 years, a woman was mobbed and killed in a Muslim-dominated street in Abuja. She was doing ambulant early morning preaching. Why was she killed? Why was she mobbed and killed? What was she preaching in a Muslim-dominated street? Don't forget where I'm coming from, saying that obsession with preaching has turned some people into eccentric preachers. But that is not a justification for being mobbed and killed, as in jungle justice, people taking laws into their own hands. And that is the level of barbarism we are experiencing, with particular reference to some Muslims. Because I know there are decent Muslims who will never do that. Yet, Islam is said to, at least in the Quran, to justify killing of anybody who blasphemes, should be given death sentence. And you will see that hardly has anybody been arrested and prosecuted for such jungle justice of mob action, barbaric action. So, then when we talk of eccentric preachers, it includes preaching, eccentric preaching. It includes, or preachers, includes finding a young man at a junction, preaching to nobody in particular, but passing vehicles and individuals. No congregation, no crowd, no audience, just preaching. To passing individuals and vehicles, sometimes there's nobody still preaching. Some other times, you have seen some Africans arrested in Europe for engaging in street preaching, regarded as constituting public nuisance. And then, is it true that a young man was trying to force his way to preach to a governor in his office, unsolicited, going to preach to a governor in his office, trying to force his way, and was killed by some security agents? What happened? Scuffle with the security agent? Stop? He refused to stop? It is horrible. When you see, for instance, in Europe, in one country of Europe or another, a black man is arrested for street preaching, constituting public nuisance. And even when the police is handcuffing him, or when the police are handcuffing him, he will still be telling the police, you cannot do anything to me. Somebody being handcuffed. In the process of being handcuffed, to which he can do nothing, will still be telling the police, there's nothing you can do to me, until he's handcuffed and whisked away. So when I see such scenarios, I feel personally ashamed and humiliated as an African. Don't forget where I'm coming from. Obsession with preaching has turned some people into eccentric preachers. Now, the question of preaching and its effects. Why has preaching not turned Nigeria into a better country, but a worse country than before the advent of Christianity and Islam that are preaching? Why? Because inhumanity of human beings to human beings is just growing, including homicide money ritual, paucity of kindness, mercy, compassion, rather human exploitation, human humiliation, exploitation, stealing, armed bandits, killing other people because of their property and things like that. That were rare, if at all, in traditional Africa. That's the truth. Life was very safe and secure. And the issue of trust, you can leave your wares, what you are selling, you can leave it, and indicate the amount and go about your business. When you come back, those who bought will put down the money, and there was no fear of theft. Not to talk of homicide money ritual as we are experiencing it now. So, what difference does it make to be a preaching religion? Going by our experience with Christianity and Islam is of no effect. If anything, deception galore, wickedness, heartlessness, brutality. That is what we are. These are what we are experiencing in our Christo-Islamic Nigeria. Why? Let's see some maxims. One. Example is better than precept. Example is better than precept. 2. Action speaks louder than voice. 3. Too many people become preachers rather than doers. And as a corollary, hypocrisy. Do as I say, not as I do. So, no wonder. Traditional Africa that did not engage in preaching like with the Abrahamic religions was much better because there was emphasis on reaping what you sow. That what you do to your neighbor is coming back to you. The law of karma, known to the whole world, but has been replaced with emphasis on religion, on believing in Jesus Christ, on accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior, on accepting Prophet Muhammad as the prophet of God, on accepting Quran as the book of God. So, amounting to using the name of God to cow and milk people, and beyond that, dividing people along Christian and Islamic lines, and within Christianity and within Islam, innumerable divisions, antagonistic denominations. So, preaching religions, what difference? Negative difference. For the most part, negative difference.